Hello! Today I'm gonna show you how to install WordPress in just a few minutes. Hi there, I'm Daniel, and I've been using WordPress for most of my web projects for more than a decade. And today I'm gonna share this knowledge with you, which is how to install a clean version of WordPress, which is free to use and it's very easy to install. All you need is a hosting provider where you can install the website and a database server where you can install the MySQL database, which connects all the dots. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to do it all. Now, first of all, we need to go to wordpress.org and click the Get WordPress button. In there, you'll be able to download the latest version of WordPress, which is by the time of this recording is 6.7.1. Now I've downloaded this file already, and I got this zip file here. After unzipping this file, I get this folder. Within it is another folder called WordPress, and we want to dig into that folder. And here is all the files that we need to upload to our FTP server. Now, our FTP server is the server where we need to upload these files to, which is the hosting space for the website. Not to be confused with the database. I'll come back to that later. But first, we need to upload these files to our FTP server. And I got some login credentials for mine right here. Should be here. Yeah. Right. So we need to state a host name, a username, and a password for the FTP server. Perhaps some FTP servers needs a port number. Mine is just 21, which is default, so I don't need to state that. I'm using FileZilla, by the way, to connect. All right, and let's try to connect. Great, it seemed to work. Within my FTP server, I got a folder called public HTML. Now, in this particular setup, this is where I need to upload my WordPress installation. So let's do that. Let's drag these files into this public_HTML folder, and it will be uploading some content for us. There's a lot of files, so you have to be patient. All the files needs to be uploaded to the FTP server before we can do anything else from there. But so the pace of this uploading speed is actually too fast, so I might get some canceled downloads, but we'll take care of that later. While these are transferring, I can tell you something about the database. Now, when we get into WordPress for the first time, WordPress will ask, where do I need to store all the data that you are posting on the website? So the pages, the content, the pictures, all the information has to be stored somewhere. That is not stored on the FTP server per se. Pictures, images, files, stuff like that is of course managed on and stored on the FTP server, but all the information is stored in the database. And WordPress needs to know which database to talk to store the information and get the information from. And back in the days, you had to install the database yourself, but it's very easy to install now. We just need to wait for the transfer to be done, and I can show you just how to connect the files that we uploaded to the database. For my particular hosting setup, I have both the FTP service and the database within the same hosting space. So it's fairly easy for me to install WordPress. I just need my login credentials for my SQL server, and I've got them right here. And the files are transferred now. You see there's a couple of files that didn't really made the call here, so I'm just gonna queue them up again and transfer them. And there's still one file missing. Let's try it one more time. There. All files are transferred, and we can go to the domain that I transferred the files to, which is fr4nk.dk, which is an abbreviation for Frank. Right. So this, let me show you what to do here. Here, this is the first page that you will be greeted with. So now you have to choose your language. Now I'm gonna stick to English because we're speaking English today, so everyone can understand. And let's click continue. And here is the fun part. Here is WordPress asking me which database do I connect to. And let's take a look here. We need a database name. We need a username for the database and a password for it, as well as a host name for the database, which is, it could be an IP address or a DNS address, and a table prefix. Now, what is a table prefix, Daniel? You have to tell me. Say you have only one FTP server and you want to FTP and database server, and you want to have 10 or 20 or even more WordPress websites managed and hosted within the same database, then you need to add a table prefix. I'll show you an example in just a bit. But if you just want one single website, you don't have to pay attention to table prefix. We can just do without it. So let's go. Let's move on here. Let's give our database a name. And it can't just be something random. We actually need to use the name of the database that is created on my hosting with my hosting provider. And this is my database name. Now, let's move on to the username, which is the MySQL username. And the password. Remember, this is just for the database. We're just connecting WordPress to the database right now. And here's the database host. Now, if you're running your database locally, you should probably enter localhost. But in my case, I'm using a hosting provider which has their own database server address or hostname, and this is it. It will be unique. It will be different. It will be different in your setup, so you have to know the real host name. Now we get to the fun part. We get to the table prefix, which I told you you really don't need to change this if you are not thinking about running multiple WordPress websites on the same database server. But if that was the case, I probably wanted to change this wp underscore, which is the default table prefix for all WordPress installations. I would change this to something like, let's call this a car dealer, because I had a website selling cars and an underscore. So this is WP underscore and car dealer underscore. So I know this would be all the tables created by the WordPress website. I know this is for the car dealer website. You could do this for all of your websites. But in this case, we're just going to make one single WordPress installation. So I'm going to leave it with WP underscore. Submit. Let's move on with it. All right, Sparky. You made it through this part of the installation. WordPress can now communicate with your database. If you are ready, time now to, okay, run the installation. Great. Right. So here is where we name our website. And I'm gonna give my website a site title called Frank with a 4 instead of an A. This would be the title of the website. And a username could be Frank as well. And WordPress automatically suggests a strong password for your user, which is very good. You need a strong password, otherwise your website is just gonna get hacked. If your password is 1234 admin, or the name of your dog or something like that, it's gonna get hacked. You're just asking for your website to get shut down and hacked. So I would use a strong password. And this is a strong password. Now, I am gonna type in an email address. I'm just gonna use this one here. And the last function that you can use is search engine visibility. Now, this is where you can tell your WordPress that search engines are allowed to crawl your website or disallow them. It doesn't do any search engine optimization for you, but this is where you can tell your WordPress website if it can even be detected by any search engine out there. I'm gonna leave this unticked because I want my website to be discovered on the interwebs, and click install WordPress. All right, that's it. It's installed. This is my username, and my password is of course not being visible here. I can click login, or I can go to the domain and look at that. That's my website. Awesome. So WordPress is by default installing some sample pages. So these can be changed from within the admin section. Just for fun, let's try to log in. You go to the domain name and type /wp-admin. And here you see the same login screen as before, where you can type in the username and the password and click login. And that's it. We've installed WordPress. And from this control panel, we can administer all our blog posts, our uploaded media files and pages and comments. If people are writing comments to you, we can download and install plugins and new great awesome looking themes, and it's just all fine and dandy. It's very easy to use, as mentioned before. And if you want to learn even more about how to use WordPress, I will happily make more tutorials, uh, in more in-depth tutorials on how to install plugins and how to set up a great design using themes and templates and whatnot. Just leave me a comment. Ask me questions if you have any questions from watching this video, and I'll be happy to answer them as fast as possible. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a like if you liked the video, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Ta-ta!